Hello, good evening, and welcome to another live stream. How are you doing, everyone? That's a lot of people. Mr. Twolleport, Mr. Vetros, Magix, Eisenhower, Slime, Charme, Kerry, Sunset Fractals, Kangi. Did I already say your name? No, I didn't. Unagi Express, Twinkle Choose, Marty, and Spookno, and everyone else who is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey Jeremy, I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. So, yeah, today we are going to play a scenario by Mr. Twolleport. Who has been, I'm not sure of a long time, but yeah, it's been here for a while. Consistent viewer of the stream. And I saw that he had made a scenario, posted it in my Discord server, and I was like, that sounds fun. So we'll play it. So thank you for the 57 months Kangi, for the 18 Reckless Triss. And for the 2 months Sharma. I just lost the game. Well, now everyone did, because I just mentioned it. I do not apologize. Wish I had some candy, well then buy some. A few years after I was living on my own, I was like, I want some applesauce. And then I realized I can just buy some. It was close to shop's closing time, but I could just buy some. So I went out, bought only a jar of applesauce, and had some applesauce. Which was nice. Thank you once again for bribing Kerry to not go rogue as a mod slime. And thank you for the 12 months Jeremister. What would everyone resubbing today? Is it like that people happened to sub around this time of the month and it just all coincides on the same time? Because that can happen, of course. Shops closed, it's Sunday. Well, that's your own fault for moving to Germany. Although, to be honest, my local shop's also closed because it's past 6 PM. Anyway. Today we will play. Honestly, I have forgotten the name. I can't find it if I don't know the name. Hang on, what's the name again? Carriglow Valley. It's also just in the stream title. I could have looked at that. It's not in here, it's in here. There it is, I saw it. So, you have acquired a vast plot of land within the picturesque hills and waterways of the Carriglow Valley. Now you must provide a return on investment by developing a thriving and profitable amusement park. Objective: to repay your loan and achieve a park value of at least 2 million. Which is quite a lot. So let's start by opening the park. Which price 25. No one's gonna pay that. But we do pay admission, okay. Well, we got really a vast plot of land with my favorite scenery item in the middle here. I like this island, it's a good island. It's also the limit in the scenario creator, is it? 2 million is not that much, considering how big we can go. I mean, just briefly, how much does Limit Park have? Okay, I got 6 million. Yeah, then 2 million is quite a lot. I thought Limit Park would have more. Okay, back to Carriglow Valley. Which is there. You have flexibility with your revenue model. Well, then I already know what I'm going to do. Thank you for the hint. So we basically just got a good old plot of land. Ooh. Nice little Easter egg with scenery. A little mining operation. I was going to call it a town, but calling 2 huts a town is quite generous. I'm not sure about mining. Fishing, maybe? Fishing sounds more. Well, I mean, there are logs there. But I don't see any mining going on. Either way, there's not too much going on other than it being a big forest. Oh, we got 2 entrances. There's another one right here. 3 entrances. I hadn't seen the middle one yet. Alright. We got a lot of rides available. Now, one thing I did see in the description is that we have a massive loan of 2.2 million. Which is quite a lot. It was the very first scenario I worked on. You only released it now, though. How long has this taken you to finish? Or have you just recently started building? Okay, we'll start with a merry-go-round. Close to the middle entrance. What kind of paths would I use? How about we go for red queue lines as the base for once? I don't do that very often, do I? We almost sold our house. We're currently in the 3 days after signing the preliminary purchase agreement. Nice. Then they of course got to get all their finances in order. Which I can speak from experience can be a bitch. Although that was partly because, you know, I do YouTube and such, which makes it a bit more tricky than just having a job somewhere. Okay, we can probably research more. Yes, always maximum funding. That's just the basic thing I always do. Now, so far, this path layout is quite good. There's nothing difficult about this. I don't have to shut anything off. It's not the Roller Coaster Tycoon 1. Gary wants to duckify park. My bad. I missified that. Well, there we go. We're not going to see very much of it because we're not going to be building close to the water. But they will be there. There's a lot of water for them to go. We own all of it. You can see the park fence there. I love Gary abusing her moderator powers by announcing Duckify Park. That's a great use of them. Looking forward to see the spinning coaster trains. Do we have those? No. We do have two RST1 vehicles, but not the spinning coaster ones. But yeah, we're on OpenRST2 version 0.5.0 now. Instead of 0.4 point something, we went all the way from 0.1 to 0.32, which is quite a lot of versions. We are now actually at 0.5.0. Now, it's not one specific thing that they were like, this is now done, so we move on to the next, from 0.4 to 0.5. Last time they went from 0.3 to 0.4, it was the new save format. There's nothing in particular, but there's just a bunch of things, including new plugin, QuickJS, which is new plugin scripting engine, which is a lot better. I have no plugins. Should install some. And the spinning cars are also quite new. There's just a whole bunch of things that have been recently added. They were like, this is good enough for an 0.5.0. You know what? I'll just... I didn't mean to save that there. Well, it's fine here, actually. Let me just get some of my plugins. Let's see... I would like everything must die. I would like live ride measurements, because why not? Don't need the price manager. I would like soft desktop calculator, park rating inspector, peep editor. Why not? I'm not going to use it, but ride editor, calculator. Yeah, that'll do. So, plugin. Now we can reload. There they are. Let's continue building this ride. I think the Peep Editor plugin broke. Every time I try to change the look of staff or try to freeze him, it just doesn't work. You should ask Manticore about that. I think Manticore made it, right? Yes. You know, go onto the OpenRST2 Discord server and ask him about it. Because they will either know what you are doing wrong, or they will be able to confirm that it's a bug. Manticore knows all. Well, probably does know all about his own plugin. I would hope so, anyway. And there it is. Finito. Look at that. 2 cars. I love cars. It's annoying that the path doesn't save with the game. Down. There's our queue line. And an exit line. I like this flower bed pattern. It's quite nice. Is it just... It's just all of these next to each other. Yes. So it's really simple. But it doesn't mean it's not nice. Because it is nice. Okay, what stats do they bestow on me? Or have I kind of bestowed on this ride? 4.78, 4.89, 3.15. That's... I mean, it's a junior coaster. That's very standard. What else did you expect? Now, what we can do is make the trains a bit different color. I'll make this a bit brighter orange, and we'll make this blue. That's more fun, isn't it? Cash machine. Do we have a cash machine? Well, we did just get a balloon stall, which I always like. Charge 10 bucks for that monstrosity. We do not have a cash machine. And we don't get it for a long time, according to Mr. Twat of Hot. Okay, how rich are these fellas? 120, okay, that's fine. Is that a min or max? Another 120. 100, 110. 110, 120, 130. Okay, so 100 to 130. That is plenty. We have a lot of scenery available. I think I remember there being none available. Yeah, so we don't need to research anything. We just already have a lot. This is definitely a multi-stream scenario. How much do we lose every month? 2.7k from loan interest. That is quite a lot. So we're gonna have to make money against that. Drown a QT that's waiting in queue. Well, not quite waiting, but he's spending time in the queue anyway. Ah, the ducks are about to land. That took a while. Goodbye. And there's some here that are flying all the way to there. That loan is insanely high. Yes, it is. And it's gonna cost us a lot of money. Taddly daddly daddly da. Now we kind of need some sort of post there, don't we? That. Nope, that just doesn't look nice. What we can do is extend this. Like so. Now it'll be fine. Because now this looks okay. Put a few trees in there. Landscape a bit. That's a perfectly good way to spend money in these dire times. And it already looks a bit nice, doesn't it? Now you want some statues of a woman and of a man without the woo. So just a man. You could always delete scenery to get money. Not trees, those cost you money to remove. I'm about to have a full crash out over how bad my internet has become. Had it become worse? That's not good. I don't know if it was bad earlier, but a worsening is never good. What's the problem? Just slow or sometimes no connection? Not that I can help in any way, I'm just curious. Okay, can we increase the loan? Yes. I'm not gonna test how far we can increase it. That's a limit we'll hit if we hit it. Yeah, we'll notice when we hit it. I always like to have an ice cream stall instead of just a food and a drink stall. I know that pizza and ice cream are both just food to the guests. Doesn't make a difference. But it still feels like a third type of stall. You know, this is proper food, that's drink, and that's snack. Kind of, right? Just like you wouldn't have a park with only a cookie stall. You would have like a hot dog stall and a cookie stall. Just like we have pizza and ice cream here. Yes, and it is because my landlord is an idiot. What does your landlord do? Okay, I don't really want to miss the bones there. What we can do though is... Boing. Oh god, this is quite dense. This is a lot of big stuff. But that's alright. What kind of climate do you have? I live in the Netherlands, so I think it's a sea climate. Okay, but in this game, we has warm, which is the second best climate after hot and dry. So when I moved into this place, I had my own connection, but then a few months in, he decided to change it to save some money. To let me share his internet. He lives downstairs. His solution was to put up some TP-Link extender device up here. It was of course slower, but was often tolerable. The past few weeks I'm getting on average less than 10 megabits a second. Yeah, that's not a lot. Through this thing, and I'm pretty sure what he's done is legal anyway, since I pay for rent and utilities all inclusive, and he downgraded the internet, so I'm getting less and paying the same. Yeah, the problem with that is that you could go through the entire effort of making a big fuss about it. But that's also a lot of effort. And he is relying on you not bothering. And most people won't. Name a right of your choice. What is your choice? I don't think he intended to scam me, I think he's just an idiot. Well, then you could tell him that it's illegal. Of course, first looking up how exactly the law works, because I don't know, I'm not German. And even if I was German, I still wouldn't know. Name the merry-go-round to diabetes. Why? Just why? Oh yeah, I should do. $20 umbrellas. Now turntable. The ride's not finished yet. Gonna be a relatively... Oh, that's a nice place for turn table. We can do gonna be a relatively lengthy logo de flumo. And actually, for once, I put in a nice spot for the photo section. Bigger cars time for me to build. Well, we've got a lot available. Woody water splash going through its own loop. That should be possible. But first, I'm gonna give this some decoration. How about we make this Roman, baby? So, Roman. The red pants fit well with that. Colosseum, there, that's the closest place we can put one. Lots of fountains. Oh, ain't got no money. You know what, I should probably do a better job at making money. Whoops. I'll replace that. What have the Romans ever done for us? Give us the Romans to study. Which I think is a very nice thing of them to do. There's very classic Roman colors, the purple and the pink, you know? They always did that. Diabetes broke down. Good, we don't need diabetes in this country. Keep hydrated. Good point. Now, if I was Joromaka, I could have just drank this entire log flume dry. And now hands up in the chat who knows who Joromaka is. Oh, I should probably hire some staff. It's gonna cost even more money. And you are going to, for now, keep close to here. From Suska and Whiskey, yes. How's the release working for you? Well, so far fine, but I also haven't really tried anything yet, you know? Besides, I play on dev versions anyway. So I don't think a lot has changed since last live stream, right? No Roman fanfare. Now there is. Name the log flume wet and moist. Sure. But yeah, so far release is going fine, Genesis. I've been playing today, but I've been playing on a custom version today, which is for hopefully Thursday's video, which is based on like the latest dev version a few days ago, so right before the release. You may have seen me mess about with it in the OpenRCT2 Discord server. Basically, I made a version where I have the worst possible luck. I want to charge more than $2. Good point. We'll also charge a bunch more for the photo. $4.50 will do. Can we advertise? Yes, I'm going to advertise. No 0.1 microcoasters yet. Well, apart from the one I put in the pinned comment there have been no like improvements or anything. Yeah. Does the worst possible luck mean nobody will ever choose to go on the rides? Yes. It doesn't mean they can't go on the ride, they will never head for a ride. But they can still stumble upon the queue line. And then it's not a matter of chance, then it's a matter of yes or no. And that is determined not by chance, but by variables. And of course, that I'm not changing. Because that is not luck, that's just how the game works with certain variables. Do you still charge for the entrance? No, I do realize the 2 ads I took out for that are going to be a bit useless. But that's alright. Well, theoretically, worst possible luck will of course mean you can't get any guests. Because guest spawning is determined by random chance. It's a very small chance every game tick that a guest spawns, and then the ads have their own guest spawning chance. But that's no fun, you know, that doesn't make for a good video. It's basically, hey, is the game still playable if you do this? No, goodbye. So that's not something I did. Nice big fat woody you got there. Thank you. I bred it myself. First time seeing a live stream, and immediately you hear me getting complimented on my woody. That's a good first thing to hear. But welcome, Lumpy Space Prince. Okay, can we do... It looks a bit better from this angle. There's still a bit of clippage going on. Very safe. Okay, from this angle it looks alright. Can I make it look a bit better? This is a bit better. Okay, I quite like the way these helixes look. These 2 helixes together. I think that turned out well. Okay, how much speed does it have here? Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, I'll figure a way. I think it'll make this. No, no it won't. I've got a solution for that. Just some extra speed. This is not just double penetration, this is double moist penetration. Which we of course know is the best kind. It's a bot break. Good point. Wait, it worked. Like a minute ago. Try again. Okay, that seems to be a one-time thing. Good. Okay, it's still getting stuck. That's annoying. Okay, it will get pushed through by the next one, but that doesn't help. You know what? I'll just put this one unit lower. I mean, this looks even jankier. So it's fine. And this also doesn't look too healthy. Okay, that's now actually tested. Hey, we got 420 guests. Nice. Not anymore. Carriglow Valley. Come for the diabetes, stay for the concussion. Now that is a good slogan. Okay, it'll make it. Good. That's one of the jankiest things I've ever put through a loop. But it works. A bit of an adventurous queue line instead of the standard switching back and forth in front of the station, which is frankly boring. So this is a lot more interesting. Well, that looks interesting. What are the stats like? 8.10, 9.46, 5.57. That's pretty good. And there is no Mimi number in there at all. Welcome to the stream, Bagaren. Ad campaign is finished. Well, let's add some more. Yeah, shouldn't do those two, that not very effective. Do we have a Mimi number here? No. And not here either. Which is good. Now, this is obviously a very Wild West roller coaster. So we're gonna have some carts and shit. Some gallows. A totem pole. This is your incredibly typical Wild West town. A few teepees. There we go, that's a Wild West town, isn't it? Present day Dallas. And then we can do like a path in front of it. There you go, your Wild West town. Of course, they're built on rocks. Because rocks are manly and Wild West is manly. They're not on this girly stuff, it's got to be manly. Rocks. Yeah. Chip stall, how very manly. Okay, how do we be doing on the money front? Okay, 3.5 so far in July. It's going to be about 4. Income from rides. We're slowly working towards making a profit if we don't spend anything. We don't need no woke grass. Rocks is where it's at. Yeah, there's just a few manly terrain types, right? You got dirt, you got rock, and Martian, which is kind of just red rocks. You know, you do grassy dirt, grass clumps as it's called, I guess. Starts to become a bit feminine because grass is, you know, nice, smells nice. And smelling nice, as we all know, is a feminine thing. That's not manly, that's bad. Am I being Andrew Tate enough to attract the 15-year-old boys now? Need my surfaces to be hard, just like I am. Yes, I'm always hard. Back in the past, pink was considered a manly color. Yes, because pink was very hot and very vibrant. Because women apparently weren't vibrant. It's kind of a bullshit, isn't it? It's so much bullshit about like what things are manly and which are womanly. Now, there's of course a certain, like, every animal has biological differences between men and women, males and females. So it's natural that they exist in people, obviously. For example, I don't think it's a coincidence that usually the mother is more caring for the child and the dad does more of the work. That's partly cultural, but probably also partly biological. But a lot of things that are considered manly or womanly, it's just complete bullshit. Just so much bullshit. You can drag walls. You can, but I always forget. It's a great feature, although it wouldn't take that much time for this. It isn't that big a job, but yeah, it is a great feature. Okay, that's a bit too close together. So is that. I'll put one there. Another one right next to the TP. With a big bit further forward. I'm terrible at scenery. Pink was a manly color because red was a manly color, and in the past there were morons who didn't know how to properly set the colors, so red clothes became pink after a while. So all the military dudes who wore pink, you knew you should fear because they saw some shit. Oh, that's interesting. One thing I don't get is how women are typically stereotyped as being shorter, daintier ones, while in nature a lot of animals have females the bigger one. Well, women aren't stereotyped to be the shorter, daintier ones. They are. Like, women are the shorter, the smaller one in humans. Probably in a bunch of other primate species as well. I would wager those are the same, although I'm not sure. I think females being smaller is more of a mammal thing. Yeah, that makes sense. I think like lions, males are... They definitely look bigger with lions because of the manes. But I think they also are bigger outside of the manes. Though again, I'm not sure. What about spiders? Well, those are not mammals. And we're on with the extra moist penetration. I like that. We're talking about mammals. Well, we were kind of talking about every animal, but we've talked about like how mammals typically the female is the smaller one. Rocks on the manly America and cross clubs on the puny Japanese land. Yes. America! Japan! It's a shame we don't have the massive cowboy. One from the expansions. China! This shit is so ridiculous. Okay, looks like we're making at least enough money now to make a profit even though we have a little loan interest. Which is good. It's very good. This thing is doing a good profit. It's doing a 2,300 an hour. Reminds me of when I did 2,300 guests an hour. Okay, we need 2 million park value. We are on 132,000. We're nearly a tenth of the way there. We're 2/3 to a tenth of the way there, and yeah, we have not started paying back our loan yet. Will you ever consider doing a collab with Vark Skeletor? Is that the one from Joel's Vine Sauce thing? Is that Vine Sauce Joel or not? I thought that maybe I don't really know who that is. I've heard the name. Okay, that is it. I don't know. Never come in contact with him. I don't think either of us have ever tried. I'm not sure if our styles would mesh too much, but you never know. Joel is much more chaotic. I think Joel is probably more chaotic in the moment. Like, if you've watched some of my videos, I do tend to script some chaotic things. But those are all scripted. In a live stream, I'm not that chaotic. I should make this a different path style. Longest bridge entirely over water in the world. Isn't that the bridge between Hong Kong and the mainland? I have a memory of that being very long and very over water. Could be wrong. Speaking of water, I need to drink some, and you guys should too. No. Macau in the mainland then? Is it in that region? Like Hong Kong, Macau, China, that triangle of countries, entities. It has islands. Is it from the mainland to Bahrain? Where there's Passport Island. I think Lake Pontchartrain Causeway in New Orleans. I've heard of that. I also have some memories of something very long and over the water, but I think that was a memory of when we visited that nude beach together. Yeah, I did too. That guy was really... He just had a really long wooden stick. Ah, it is in Lake Pontchartrain, which I'm probably not pronouncing correctly. Pontchartrain. The Ponder train. The train where you go to ponder. Hum. 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 Wait, which is called the longest go-kart track ever? Right, I think that's one of the ones I downloaded from the Right Exchange. It's not really all that long. Well, the park's starting to take up shape nicely. We're making decent money. Yeah, 7.7 thousand in August from ride tickets. Do we already have people who are broke? Doesn't seem like it. We have a few fellas who want to go home. They just haven't been able to go on a ride. What's the longest river entirely in Germany? Oh, I wouldn't know. Elbe? Which is a complete guess. The Weser, which runs through where I live. Well, then I've definitely seen it, because I've been to Bremen. But I don't remember it. Elbe crosses into Czechia. Ah, I didn't know that. I really should have checked that. And there we have a nice go-kart track. Intertwining. It's always nice when rides intertwine. I sometimes have the tendency to just build very isolated rides. You know, you have a compact ride here, a compact ride next to it, another compact ride next to it, then a bunch of flat rides. But it's always nice when they interact with each other, go through each other, interweave, outerweave, interwove, whatever. I've heard quite a few good things about the Swiss. Great chocolate, famous cheese, renowned horologists. What the hell is a horologist? And the flag is a big plus. Yes, that old joke. It is the most symmetrical flag in the world. Swiss flag. Which, we shall build it quickly. I want a better one. Which is the better? This will do. Okay, I need a 5x5 space. Well, it's certainly not yellow. It's not exactly proportioned right, but whatever. You can rotate this. This is incredibly symmetrical because you can rotate it along this axis, along this axis, like mirror it. You can rotate it 90 degrees and it's still the same. You can like do it diagonally. And yeah, that's the problem with the Japanese flag. Is that it's not a rectangle, so it's less symmetrical. The former Libyan flag is the most symmetrical. No, it's not. That's a rectangle. Like, this is a square, which is as symmetrical as a square can get. I'm pretty sure. I don't think there are any more lines of symmetry that the flag could have. So is the Nepalese flag the least symmetrical? I think there are other flags that have no lines of symmetry whatsoever. Like, I don't think the Sri Lankan flag has any lines of symmetry either. Even though it is still a rectangle. Right, the Merlin flag. I did somewhere, probably on one of my channels. Like one of the VOD channels, maybe, I'm not sure. In a live stream, I rated all the American state flags. I don't remember where I put Maryland. So many stupid seal on X ranks. Yes. There's a lot of stupid seal on blue. I did raise the Mississippi flag with the, what's it called, with the Confederate flag on it incredibly high. I think my favorite. Because I wasn't actually rating that one. I was rating the new one with the magnolia flower on it. Which wasn't in that tier list I found yet. Build a toilet next to the Swiss flag and call it Lindt Chocolatiers. Damn. Okay, we want more ducks also from Crunchy Marrow. Carrie be savage. You know what? I'll do it like this. So that you can look at it out of the door. That does imply that if you are able to look out of the toilet while you are doing your business, that other people can also see you doing your business. Which, for most people, would be less ideal. There's probably someone into that. The log toilet just looks so much better. But this is the RST1 variant. I like that. Probably have a bobsled. I do, but I don't really want to make one around the Swiss flag. It doesn't fit. And yeah, well, we can buy land. Ah, we can buy all this land if we need it. Except for the fishing village. We can't buy that. Why do we buy construction rights? Oh, we can buy this as construction rights. Interestingly enough. I don't really want to. I think it's nice to have a bit of a buffer. Looks nice. What is the amount of money you can charge for a toilet? Well, between 20 and 60, and the more they need to go, the more they will pay. I like to keep it, well, usually I like to keep it at 0, but I like to keep it at 20. If I do charge. Get some more handyman involved. Why was none of the handymen going for this? Oh. It's not with it. Not quite. Doesn't seem to be. You know what? I'm just going to hire enough handymen and not bother with patrol areas anymore. There we go. That's better. Oh, umbrellas for 20 bucks. Umbrellas for 20 bucks. Oh yeah, look at this. This window, the color window, is it called colors? Color scheme options has now gotten smaller if you don't need the space. If compared to this, the old color window from the Haunted Heights would still be this size, but now it's not because there's nothing else other than this that you need to select. I saw it in Dirkling's video, yes. Dirkling makes good videos about the releases. Name the haunted house Nestle Corporate Huck. Is Nestle from Switzerland? If that is true, then I didn't know that. I mean, wherever they are from, I didn't know that because I don't know where they're from. Guests are getting lost or stuck. Wait, what? It's not. This is not a difficult park to find. Okay, people are getting stuck on Western Mall. Yeah, because it wasn't getting fixed. Okay, that makes sense. I'm lost. What are you trying to find? Where were you heading? They're not trying to leave the park. They just couldn't find something, and I don't know what it was. And sometimes it's not that they can't find it, it's just it takes them too long to get there. But this distance, from there to there, is not that big. I'm not sure what's going on here, but it seems to be fine. If we go to park rating, inspector... Well, 0 lost... Okay, but that only counts lost guests who want to leave and can't find the park exit, so that's not a good representation. A guest that just made a Swiss chocolate bar. Now I've got a question for you. How do I check they didn't have diarrhea? Or is it okay if it's a melted chocolate bar? Melted is fine if you could check. Has anyone actually used this yet? Yes. But I don't know anyone who's just used it. I don't think they can ever think Toilets 1 was great value. They can, I think the only thing they can think about it that shows up here. Yeah, I'm not paying that much. Oh, that one just made chocolate. Not paying that much to use Lindt chocolate too. That means that I barely had to go. Which is the first phase of needing to go, of course. What if a guest only made lemonade? Oh, I could see it in their eyes. Oh, and I could smell it. I could smell it in their eyes. Can you cheatly mow the grass? Nope. Got handyman 6 for that. Good luck, fella. I know you can do it. Come on, get out your little mowing apparatus. There you go. I know you can do it. Yeah, we got one of them. We made a profit, because I remember being on 13k. Now we're on 15k, 16k. Which is good. Oh, we're still charging 10 for the junior, and that's still okay. Didn't expect that. I think it's already lowered once. Okay, I just had a brainwave, right, earlier today. Would you guys like it if this didn't say year, but a certain number of months ago? That would be more granular and would help. Like 1 year, certain months ago, then last year would have to disappear. It's just a thought I had, right? Because that would be helpful, but it would also make it a bit less neat. This year, last year, we would change that to certain year and months ago. Only if it's been less than a year. Oh, we could probably do that. Because the game has an option for that, right? If we take out my trusty right cricket price calculator, it says 8 months. Because it knows, it can read that. Then again, that would require a bit amount of work on my part. And I don't know if the developers and everyone else would be okay with it. I'm not sure if I would be okay with it. Just a thought I had. It would be cool if you moused over it, that would display the exact date that it was built. That's even more work. Name the handyman Sisyphus. Alrighty. Is that how you spell it? Because I don't know. We could also... I think this is a better name. That's their name forever now. I think I spelled it correctly. What I want is the original stats of the fart line back. It's probably not going to happen. I also disagree with the changing of that. I think there was something charming about the low stats. And it's still a terrible ride. I mean, it's better than some others, better than the Alpine Coaster, better than the Mini Sus, better than the Stipletiese. But it was already better than those two. Didn't need the stats for that. Can you make a Jamaican flag and put the bobsled coaster near it, please? No, because the Jamaican flag is going to be way too big. It's going to need to be way too big to look decent. He's mowing pretty fast. Yeah, this is roughly a 3x3 area, right? 3x3 meters. He is mowing one of them every like 5 seconds. just for the Americans, that's about... Let's see, it's about 10 centimeters. It's about 300 by 300 hamburgers. Depends a bit on how big your hamburger is. Tell a childhood story, the best shit you've ever taken. I mean, I don't remember an individual one, but I have memories of needing to go real bad. Or feeling terrible, like feeling sick, and then after you've gone it feels a lot better. But you want to tell me, you want me to tell you a story about a little boy pooping? Because it's a childhood story. I think we're gonna add a name to the list. But no, I do not have an answer for that. I don't keep track of the best pooping experience. Someone asked for a right of their choice, did they now? Oh yes, Mr. Twaddleford himself. I would like to put in a Corkscrew requested 5 inversions tools which must be interlocking loops. Since when are these requests getting so specific? I can do it, sure. You don't have a shit diary. I'm pretty sure some people do have that if they need to track it for health reasons or something. But no, I don't. When will there be a Mobius strip merry-go-round? Wouldn't that be a merry-go Mobius? Good for you, Mr. Healthy Shit. To be honest, I've never been able to relate to people that say they need 10 minutes to take a dump. Or even 5 minutes. This does not look great on the exit, but whatever. Third. Because why not? Got another mining hut there. A few explosive barrels. Broken wheel. Some more barrels. There we go. We should advertise some more. And we should charge more than the $2 for that, right? I'm advertising my extra moist penetration. Okay, time for the Corkscrew coaster. It's gonna be the first one outside, well technically the toilet, but the first ride outside of these predetermined boxes. Where was the largest particle accelerator located before the Large Hadron Collider was built in Switzerland? At Berkeley University in California. I don't know, I'm just making something up. Honestly, I don't know, but California is my guess. Illinois, well I got the country right. Rijsbergen. Was it just you? I love making long turns. Will it make that? Surely it will, right? That gotta be sure. Barely, but it does. No, I wanted that to be a large corkscrew. This is a weird element with small loops and a large corkscrew. That doesn't align. This should be better. I think so. No, one off. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yay! It doesn't have enough speed to do all this. Yes. I'm so triggered by that ass bend. Well, sorry, I just like to bend ass. Oh. Okay, that works. Just missing one inversion. Well, the ride's not done yet. There's plenty of space to add it. Though I do have a feeling that eventually it's gonna be a bit high on the intensity rating, eh? if we don't be careful. Okay, no, that doesn't quite work. I wanted to go under there then, but no. Well, maybe if we... Nope, still not quite. Okay, that ain't gonna work. The other way then. That just looks ago in that spot. And I'll figure it out. Can probably bank a couple of downward curves. Have you ever built a corkscrew before? Because that ain't gonna happen. And there we go, that's it completed. Chain it at 9. Ooh, it does make it. Best value park in the country. Hell yeah, baby. Little diagonal action. Some trick track. Yes, you're abusing the enable all drawable track pieces more than you are aware. The reason they're not enabled by default in the Corkscrew coaster is that you know, you can easily build them with the cheat. It'll work, just that it doesn't look right because the train doesn't have sprites for them. That's why they're not enabled. And if you do put banked turns on this, banked slope turns specifically, then the stats will behave as if they're banked slope turns, but the trains won't bank. Okay, surely one of the rides is too expensive now, right? Junior is still going strong, Woody is still going strong. This one's going strong. Go-karts, barely charging anything now. Nope, you're all still good. I always love it when there's just random decorations in the park, like a Swiss flag. It's just neat. Should I violate the Geneva Convention? It's just quite easy to do. There you go, I have just violated the Geneva Convention. You can't use the red cross. Which is specifically a red cross on a white background. And there have been video games that actually got a message about this from Geneva Convention Incorporated, saying, hey, please don't do that. Usually used for like health stuff. Like Among Us had that. Then they changed it to some green stuff or whatever. I'm pretty sure Tom Scott on his side channel used to have that as well. Well, not quite had it, but had a logo design for Tom Scott Plus. And that plus was on a white background, and then someone, before they published anything, someone said, hey Tom, I think you're about to violate the Geneva Convention. We should probably not do that. Finding your content has been fascinating, but also low-key has made the scenario so easy. That's why you shouldn't play optimized in the scenarios. You should play just chaotically, like don't care about anything. It's like how I play Pokemon, you know. I know way too much about EVs, IVs, and whatever now. I say how I play Pokemon. Last time I played many years ago, but how I played Pokemon. I know way too much about how all this shit works. But when I did a normal playthrough, I just purposely told myself to not pay attention. Because it would ruin it for me. And that did work for me. That's strategy. I mean, you can kind of build like I did here. Whoa, this only got 8.4 intensity. I expected it to be over 9. It's 11 meters long. Nice. I think this only applies to games made after a certain date. Games from before then that use a red cross, like Team Fortress 2, are essentially grandfathered in. I mean, yeah, you can't just make the Geneva Convention and then ban a whole load of media and stuff because there happens to be that red cross, which is an incredibly obvious thing in it. That would be ridiculous. So it makes sense that it was grandfathered in. Why not grandmothered? I still don't know what Lake Geneva, Wisconsin has to do with any of this. Well, that's just Mr. Geneva, who wrote the Geneva Convention, has his origin. Now, his family lived for a very long time around Lake Geneva in Wisconsin, so when they had to give themselves a surname, when Napoleon introduced that, they chose Geneva, because that was what signified their, what was a thing for their family. It was called Mr. Geneva, and then he eventually moved to Switzerland when he wrote the Geneva Convention, and that's why it's called the Geneva Convention. Is that why Gary Gygax? What the hell is that for a name? Gygax. That's not easy to pronunciate. Let's have some more duckies. Thank you, general reaction. We should have a lot still, though. Yeah, we have quite a few ducks. Doesn't look like that many because they're quite spread out. He's the Dunt guy. Ah, the one who made Dunt. But you know, I don't think the Geneva Convention applies to Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 in general. But if I am using it to, like, if I created a video where I just heavily featured a red cross, I might get an email about it, you know. Because I'm not doing this in 2002. I'm doing it in 2026. Does the first 8 stall have a red cross on it? No, a white cross actually. So that's fine. I never thought about that. Just a Swiss first aid room. What's the name of the big wooden coaster? It looks nice. I'm so sorry. But it is called Extra Moist Penetration. I think it would even be an automated move from YouTube. I don't think YouTube would detect that, to be honest. I found a weird bug. Well, tell me. What is it? It works in a very specific way. Okay, but what is generally? I'm quite happy actually with the design of this Corkscrew coaster. It just looks nice. And it's got good stats. I have a looping coaster on Thunder Rock that launches with a minimum of 35, then goes down, does a loop and returns to the station. Okay. Now if I set it to not passing station, from passing to station it does weird things. What is weird things? But only if it's slow enough to enter the station. I mean... do we have the correct vehicles available? Yes, we do. This ought to be close enough, right? It goes out of the station super slow again, does the loop with 3 kilometers per hour. It goes to the spikes and bumps into it. Oh yeah, I've seen something like that. That's... right? I mean, is it the exact same design that I have is of course the question. Because I just vaguely built what you mentioned. Not exactly. Well, that's important if it's about the speed that it enters the station at. Should check, are any of these too expensive? Yeah, they still seem to be good. I went too steep, did a 180. Ah. So. Another steep bit. How long be thy train? Yeah, there it goes. It does that. I wasn't sure. I didn't know this particular behavior, like this particular setup for it. But the arriving at station thing is a thing I've seen before, as well. When you do it, but yeah, I think I've seen this before. When you slow it down with chain lift pieces on the way back, it kind of does the same thing. That looks like a good vibrator. Calculate stats. So it does. Is it no longer right? No. Because it never finishes. Unlike the person who uses it. Also, that arriving at station thing is not that slow compared to the 1 kilometer an hour or even slower minimum reversing speed of the rides that we've been using. You can also get that arriving at station thing if you make a train too fast for the station brakes. Because the station brakes are not infinitely strong. Which you can of course easily do with cheats, you know, just launch it at 900, but you can also do it without cheats if you use a one-tile twister station and you do a lot of hills with the launched lift hill. You can actually get it fast enough so that it overflows it overshoots the station and then goes into that arriving at station mode. I had no idea station brakes were not infinitely strong. Well, without cheats, you gotta have really extreme setups like that twister one to make it work. So it's not something that you really happen upon organically. I found it because I'm me. It's a long time ago, I just did all loads of experiments and stuff. And I found it with cheats first, of course, and then I was like, can I do this without cheats? Can you kill the first guest rider of your next coaster, please? No, because I saw that too late. Well, that was 2 minutes ago. That was not this coaster. Now I can do that, because that's going to be the next coaster. To make sure it's actually one guy, we're going to use... No, I think we have one... We can just see who goes on this first. So the reason why it happens is that it enters the station slow enough and gets released again. Yes, because it's already in the station, so it's already at arriving at station. But it doesn't quite make it back into the station. Okay, this is stupid. I've done that in the exact same way. At least make it a different direction. The same with, like, it overshoots the station. Because the brakes ain't strong enough. It goes into the arriving station mode, but then it's suddenly not in the station anymore, but it's still in that mode. It's a little faster, it works as intended and crashes in the back. Yeah, because then it does make it. That's something I saw before. Yeah, I didn't have to try to know that, because I already knew, but I wasn't really familiar with that specific setup, or I've forgotten, but so I was like, let's give it a shot. But I had an inkling that it was that same behavior. I wonder why it's only with passing station mode instead of the other. I guess because stopping at station... Does it make it into the station if you put it at stopping at station mode? The ministers need sloped turns. Well, that's not up to me to add those. It gets pulled in. Well, then that's just a difference in how the rest two behave, and it gets pulled in, and it makes sense, of course, that it doesn't do the thing. But passing a station, it doesn't get pulled in because it still needs to pass. Okay, yes, we can make these one car per train. Neat. These are the RST1 variants. Little bit of Viridian. It works with all launched coasters. I mean, if you get the same setup going, yes. Okay, who's the first bastard on this ride? Probably could use a few more. No, they're actually doing fine. Who's gonna be my first victim? Who wants to die? No one? Oh, to be honest, stats aren't calculated yet. Take a while. There's a 90% chance they will ignore the right if they go into it because the stats ain't calculated yet. There was one guy, yeah, some people did check their wallet. I'm not sure if they do that before or after they decide to ignore it. Too many people are checking their wallet, so I think it is before. Cars don't make it to the station. Well, there's your problem. I didn't even notice. I was like, this thing is taking a while to test. I should make it wait for full load anyway. Not for testing, because we need stats, but... It doesn't make that? Alright, I'll make the cars longer. We don't need to wait for full load either. These are significantly heavier. I mean, just look at the difference. These still have 28 kilometers an hour left, and the single car ones didn't even make it. Ah, you are my first victim. Well, not first, next victim. You are gonna be die. La 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 la, guess 2027 is gonna be die. It's gonna be die. Oh, I'm thinking about your corpse, a doodly doodly doo. So the ones are better looking. These ones do look particularly nice, yes. You're about to die, what do you think of that? What do you think of the fact that you will perish? Well, apparently he's happy about it. No, 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 you're not gonna go out another time. You are dead. You are dead! Yes! You will drown in the weeds of your own destruction. Goodbye. Sometimes I worry about my mental state. Okay, I'm going shops and stalls only. I want the cash machine. And some flat rides. Already got a top spin. Already got a pirate ship. We don't have a twist yet. Imagine if guests could swim. Imagine if they could swim to land, and then give you the finger after you try to drown them. Quick, someone mod it in. It's a bit... like, it's quite a lot of work for a quick joke. If stats aren't calculated, there's only a 10% chance, so the guest preferences matter too. If there's no stats and the ride is able to record G-forces, then there is a 10% chance that they'll go on it. They will ignore the price though. Not if they can't afford it. But as long as they can afford it, they will ignore the price. Yes, regardless of preferences, because there's no stats. There's nothing to preference. Well, the park is coming along quite nicely. These roofs look very weird if they're not sloped. Could put a fence around that. There we go. Some more path. I want an obs tower. And therefore I shall have an obs tower. Here is my obs tower. Obstetrics tower. If I knew what that meant, then maybe yes. Maybe no. Je ne sais pas, je habe keine Ahnung, ik weet het niet. Ferris wheel? Ferris wheel! Look at how that fits perfectly. I do quite like a Ferris wheel for fitting in narrow spaces. They just look so neat. Should probably have some shops and sauce here. Already got the pizza stall. Don't need another pizza stall. How about a burger bar at a cookie shop? Gotta be totally cookie to go there. Look at that, that's another bit of the park. Looks quite nice, for quite little effort I'm making it look reasonably nice. Why is this not watered? Handyman, why are you not urinating on this in order to water it? I need more of you. I think the junior's too expensive. Yes. Wood is fine. Wet and moist is fine. Yes, I think all that stuff is fine. These flower beds are also not watered. Where are my handymen? Well, there's one there, and there's another one there. Yeah, you don't need two people to water one flower bed. And then they walk the other way. You bastards! Do your goddamn job, or I will throw you in the incinerator of people. which is different than just the general incinerator. Because the incinerator of people also really hurts if you're a people. Fire all Z staff. I just gave 20 people a job with good pay, no health insurance, and yet you want me to fire all of them. Even Sisyphus. Goodbye, Sisyphus. After mowing 488 lawns, you're fired. They deserve unemployment. I mean, yes, if I fire them without good reason, I do have to pay hefty unemployment. Now, somehow that's not coming out of this stuff, but I am paying it. Maybe my insurance, I don't think that falls under insurance, but whatever is taking care of it. I don't know, I've never run a business. That's not true, I'm technically running my own YouTube business, but I've never run a business with employees. Ducks. And the Corkscrew cars are white knuckle, but it's not white. Well, there's a white stripe on the trains. White knuckle was the code name for Rukt when it was in development. Or working name, or whatever that's called. This game was at some point designated as white knuckle. There's a traffic jam at the logs. Not really. Because sometimes we have a bit of a traffic jam on the slopes, but that's fine. At the rotator, well, it looks fine to me. Both do. So, if there is not anymore. Look at that, 13k, 13k, 13k. We are kind of at the limit. Because we have no cache machine. Build a stat edging bobsled. Bobsled? I think that's a bit rude. What is stat edging? I should advertise more. That's also why it's stagnating, because I'm not advertising anymore. Pay off a bit of loan and then I'm like, I should advertise, which means I immediately need to pay out more loan. It's a big loan, yes, yes it is. On the edge, peeps will ride it. A bobsled with 9.99 intensity. That's going to be quite a big bobsled. I'm not sure I want to pay the money for that. I just learned that White Knuckle was the development name of RCT. That's why I chose that name. It's interesting, because what on earth does White Knuckle mean? Like, why would you call your ride, your game, White Knuckle? I haven't got a clue what that means. Like you're gripping something really hard. Yeah, but how does that have to do with Roller Coaster Tycoon? Unless he's gripping himself really hard when he thinks about roller coasters, but I don't think that was the intention. Gripping a lap bar, maybe. Okay, general reaction. What kind of ride do you want me to build? Well, coaster. We've got a few available. Of course, after I'm done with this stand-up coaster. If I've built it correctly, I've just penetrated the loops. I would like a nice long hypercoaster. Sure. I did! I just penetrated the loops. Blindly. Let's make a triple penet. That doesn't quite work. We need to immediately do another helix. Wait, how doesn't this work? Oh, is the loop in the way? Wait, it should work though. Hang on. Yeah, triple penetration. Oh yeah. The double penetration I could do blind. The triple penetration I could not have done blind if I tried. How many tracks can go through a small loop? 4? Yes. That triple penetration that the quote is from was 3 loops, I believe. This is triple penetration in just 2 holes, which is on a technical level more impressive. It's devastating that medium loops can't be interlocked. Yes. Same goes for large loops. That is really, really unfortunate. And that's just because they're both 2 tiles wide. So a fill loop is 3 tiles wide, and the inside of a medium and large loop is only 2 tiles. So it just doesn't fit. And that's a shame. Interlocking corkscrews. You can't really... I mean, you can, you know, if you have a corkscrew like this one, you can like have a track go where this path is and then like that. That works, but they're not really interlocking, right? They're just kind of close together. You can even do 3 in a row. You can. There's a pre-built design of that, I believe. One of these fellas. Yeah, that one. You see how it does the corkscrews? Which looks kind of like a braid if you look at it from that angle. Looks really nice. You can do that. What else can we interlock? Hardlines. I mean, the hardline roll, not. That's just an inline twist, but in hardline form. The only things you can truly interlock are vertical loops. The other things are not really interlocking. I mean, this is not even interlocking loops either, because it's a track going through a loop. It's nothing interlocking. Sometimes I think it's worth disabling clearance checks and decide for yourself what can and cannot interlock. Well, maybe if you play in a different playstyle than I do, but... Does a wooden coaster not have an exit line? It does. Why is it not getting fixed? Or is it just broken down again? Wait, no mechanics hired. Oh yeah, we have no staff. Whoops. That was 10 minutes ago. Could have rehired them 5 minutes ago. So we spent 5 unnecessary minutes without staff. That's not that bad. I've done worse. Is the hardline the one that's one tile wide? Yes. Okay, is anything too expensive? Want to get off extra moist penetration. But I still get stuck on it. Wait a minute. I saw something, I don't want to pay something, but I could have just been for a photo? Yeah, oh, I don't want to pay for an online photo. That's fine, that's fine. This bit should be more expensive. Go with blind penetration, alright. Oops. Despite my relentless advertising, we still are stuck kind of at 1,300 guests. That's an unnecessarily long queue line for a twister coaster. Pirate ship, not twister coaster. What on earth was I saying? On a pirate ship, on a pirate ship. I want a differently colored queue line there. And the corners be yellow. To level up and to gain more money, we really do need the cashier machine. So we are researching the best we can. We have just gotten the t-shirt stall. Let's make everyone pastel orange. No, not random color, pastel orange. Ooh, they're buying it like hotcakes. We're also gonna do pastel pink. No, the toilet should be more on its own. Pastel green. Yeah, Agda. Ah. And the manliest color of all, pastel purple. Nothing manlier than a good purple, right? We should fill up this square. Although we wanted a big hypercoaster, so how much can we borrow? Damn. But I don't need 200,000 to build a good hypercoaster. Let's keep it at 50k. We got cheap, we got profit. Pink streak. I could just drop down this one, but that's boring. Didn't build that one. Downloaded it. Damn it. I do want my station on that side. I'll just use an ass event. The toilet's a bit obscured now. Nah, that's better. Loan repayment is part of the scenario goal. Yes, but once I have the cash machine, the loan repayment will be quick. Well, it's gonna have a good top speed here. Like 150-ish. It's gonna take forever until it reaches the top though. Maybe 140. Um, 81, 67.5, yeah, that ought to do. Wait a minute. We have these now, the big diagonal pieces. This looks so silly. Okay, we're nearly at the top. $148. Oh, my guess of 150 top speed was quite good. It really, from this angle, just kind of looks like it's going off a cliff and not returning. Like, where does the track go? It looks so odd. I do like the big sloped turns, you know, these ones. They give you so much more options when you're going diagonal. Because you can now also switch, but usually in RST2, vanilla game, and Classic 2, you can only switch between going diagonal and going orthogonal. Orthogonal, not the right word, but whatever. While going level. But now you can also do it while going up or down. And then of course on more interesting coasters that have access to loops and inversions, you may also have the dive loop, which gives you even more variety. It is a very neat change. Diagonal wild mice. We're not quite there yet. Maybe at some point in our pathetic lives. We're not quite as pathetic as the RCT guests who get drowned constantly by me. Okay, who was it that asked for this? General reaction. Is this epic enough for you? I do find it interesting that I now have stuff here in these squares, you know? Now I'm gonna have to build around that, which is not a problem. It's not filled up or anything, but it's different as opposed to the empty squares that I'll have on the other side. Let's start that with. There we go. I'm gonna have to do something about this. That works. Okay, let's test it. We got 4 trains of 7 cars per train. That is massive. With guests, it might reach 150. Difference is not that big there yet, but maybe it's just enough to reach 150. Park with the best roller coasters. Hell yeah, baby, you know it. You didn't rehire back Sissy Fussy. Yeah, he'll be fine. Money will run out in a few months, his family will starve, then he'll die, but, you know, not without shame. There's our hypercoaster. What are them stats be? 8.1 intensity, 7.9 intensity, 8.1 excitement, 7.9 intensity, and 4.0 nausea. It's 2.3 kilometers long, takes a little over 3 minutes. Alright, Marcel's moisture missile. Ew. It's not moist, no. We can charge 20 bucks for this. Pretty sure. Although actually, no, I think it counts against the Corkscrew coaster. I think we can charge 20 bucks for that. Yeah, no, they're not paying that. I should check how many rides are too expensive, because I think it's quite a few. So we just go to customers an hour and we go to the bottom. Oh, none actually, because they all have customers per hour. Well, Hypercoaster was too expensive, but we've lowered that already. I do like these long, big, majestic drops. They look neat. That cost me, well, about 50,000. Just quite a lot. Tallest cars I've ever ridden, that's Goliath in Walibi B Holland. And look, people are actually going on it. We can now check if we if it actually does reach 150 with guests. Well, it's big majestic drops. I like that better. Okay, it's not quite a full train. But let's see if it reaches 150 now. It does not. But we will probably get a full load now, yes. So maybe with a full load? I don't think so, but who knows. Mine is Fury 325, which is 325 feet tall, right? Ooh, 149! Not 150, but we did get 149, which is the faster. Whoa, 53 here. We went 40 there on an empty train. Well, that shows you the difference even on these heavy trains. Looks like quite a violent coaster in terms of G-forces. I don't think I would want to ride this one. You can probably space out the trains a bit better, making them wait 40 seconds. Well, not the first one. But that one, and the one after that, and the one after that. And that should be a bit better separation. Let's see how well I did on that. There's still not a fully even gap. Well, yeah, they're pretty good on that actually. They're going to be a reasonably even gap. If I run them on 42 seconds, it's going to be evener. Hang on, to make sure that they're properly separated, I'll reset them. These guests do not like it when they get thrown off. They hate that. I think it like halves their happiness or something. And let's see how well we did with 42 seconds of separation. That looks pretty good to me. Well, that thing will definitely make a lot of money. It's already made nearly 8k, which is quite a lot. And it's definitely the biggest and baddest coaster in the park. Favorite place in the coaster, front or back row? Surely that depends on the roller coaster. Because in Speed of Sound in Walibi Holland, back row is best. But on Express, the front row is best. On Lost Gravity, front right is best. Thank you for the 32 months, Tanner. This looks so off. This is the traditional coloring we all know from Roller Coaster Tycoon. I'm pretty sure it's also the colors in like the OpenRT2 logo. Yes. Yet when you invert those colors, it looks wrong. Very wrong. It's also the colors on my t-shirt. Why do you have blood and pee on your t-shirt? I mean, it's you on a Sunday evening, so it's, I don't know what I should have expected. Because I haven't washed my shirt. It's still kind of the question how it got on there. But you know, that's your own private business, it's not mine. My lawyer recommends not telling that. Well, if you know what's good for you, I recommend that you do tell it. Right, who's your lawyer anyway? Donald Duck? I've seen Donald Duck practice law, he's not very good at it. I think we still haven't got the cash machine. Nope, we do have quite a lot of stalls now though. But I want the cash machine. Now we are paying back the loan bit by bit. We're slowly getting more guests. Well, we're getting quite a lot of guests. It's just that more guests are going home. My lawyer also doesn't wear pants. To be fair, neither do I, so that's not that abnormal. I never wear any kind of bottoms when I stream, to be honest. Now, that's a nice mental image for you. It's also not true, but it's still a nice mental image for you. Even later focusing on shops and stalls, you'll still be going to waiting quite a while for the cash machine. That's fine, we have a lot of time before the scenario is finished. It's not like we need to finish it today. I mean, I could have done, and you could have finished it today if I just built some cheap setup, some quick setup and fast forwarded a lot. But that's not fun. I like how when you don't have anything, like an empty tile, then the brick walls is just void. It's just pure void. There's no detail in it whatsoever. And if you hedges, there's some detail in there. Ice blocks, there's some detail in there. Wooden fences, there's some detail in there. Brick walls, void. Just void. I pretty much designed this scenario as a glorified sandbox of sorts. Well, it does still have a goal. And I like a big goal where I can just build a big park, have some fun, make a lot of money. You know, like that. And this is a good scenario for that. I like big goals and I cannot lie. Is that the melody? I don't know the song. Okay, seriously, I went for blue and pink. I was like, that's gonna look alright. And then it's like, that's just a default coloring. Although, isn't it reversed? No, I think I had the right one. By the way, I don't want the default coloring. Looks like flesh. Not the good kind of flesh. That's better. Will you repay the loan? Buy all the available land. I mean, once we get a lot of money in the bank, sure, we can do anything. Then how expensive it is there? We'll have to see. Let's have a little look-see, shall we? 50. Ah, that's alright. And this is 25. That's not very expensive. You're gonna guess for the same color shirt as the shirt you're wearing. I have a color in mind, but I haven't spotted that color yet. Can I even spawn with that color? Hang on. Yes, I think they can spawn with any color. It's not the light blue I was looking for, by the way. That's just how I got here. Wait a minute. Where's the icy blue? Do they not spawn with icy blue? Because that's the closest approximation to the color I'm wearing. That's not painting. Or maybe it's got a different name. All the greens. More green. More green. Why is there so much green? Yeah, no. There's no icy blue in there. I'm gonna have to sell t-shirts. I'm already selling t-shirts, but not in that color. It's a good color, actually. It fits what I'm going for. There we go. Goodbye, 29.75. You shall not be missed. You are worthless. That is the manliest color, by the way, because I am the manliest man to ever man. So whatever color I'm wearing is the manliest color. Because there is no way I am in any kind of shape womanly. Best Value Park, yeah baby! Should name the park no girls allowed because of how manly it is. Now I still want their money, so we still have to allow girls. You know, I may be misogynistic, but I'm still a capitalist. That's not a good quote out of context. Quoted. I don't think we have any mods around to quote. No broke women allowed. That's true, but there's no broke guests allowed anyway, man nor women. I thought you couldn't win Best Value Park when you charge for the rides. We charge for both in this scenario. I've just made the entrance free. So that's why it works. Thankfully the people of Carriglow Valley are reasonably wealthy. Well, once I build a cash machine, they're infinitely wealthy. Strange how that works, isn't it? Isn't that a loophole? Well, I'm not sure if the award exists. Yeah, it does exist in RST1, I'm pretty sure. I don't know exactly how it works in RST1, but RST2 didn't have to think about that. Because in RST2 you can never charge for both. So I guess it's kind of a loophole, but also kind of an obscure one, so who gives a crap. It's also not that overpowered, because it's just one possible award, and the awards are not that strong. What's our soft guest cap? 1437, yeah, that is below our guest count, so... We do have no natural gas generation, or low natural gas generation, rather. We would like to charge for both. The thing is, if you charge for both, they want to pay less for the park entrance. And in this scenario, where you get the cash machine eventually, assuming Twaddleford is speaking the truth, then if they don't want to pay as much for the ride, that's gonna cost you a lot in the long run. In RST1 there is no cash machine available, so it doesn't really matter too much as long as you just extract all their money from them. Actually, this is gonna be it for today. I'm gonna name this Part 1. And we are going to continue this next live stream. Thank you, Mr. Toller, for providing me with a nice long multi-stream scenario. I like that. Because the one-stream scenarios are fun, but having a bit of a project that takes multiple streams is nice. I always enjoy those. I mean, I enjoy variety. Variety is the spice of streaming, isn't it? That's what Abraham Lincoln said. He also said you shouldn't believe everything you read on the internet, so I'm not sure if I should believe that he's right. Okay, well, right, Brian. I thank thee for watching. I wish to see thee again on the Wednesday. And I wish thee a good week. Thank you. I'll send you over to Brian. He's a theme park engineer. He's playing something in this game. And I'll see you in the next live stream. Bye. Bye.